Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Is Erika Kirk as well a Mossad agent? Why I'm saying this? Well, a few days ago, I think 2 videos ago, I have presented to you a very interesting story that when we were connecting the dots, as we have been for the last more than 2 months now, very much likely, but let's still say allegedly, those rabbis who represent Chabad Lubavitch could be Mossad agents, and the synagogues of theirs could be the centers from which they operate. I am very aware that a lot of you are not watching every single video I put out, and that is quite normal. I understand this. Of course, not everyone has time for this. That's why I want to address it one more time. When I am talking about rabbis, I am specifically talking about rabbis from Chabad Lubavitch. If you have not been watching my videos, I recommend you to go back. I have put out so much content for you to really pay attention to, because that movement, I would say, cult, truly satanic cult, is something that is behind most of the leaders. Those leaders like Trump, Putin, Zelensky, and many others in so many countries, most of the countries in the world, are very often in the company of those rabbis, because each country has its own designated rabbi that makes sure everything is being run smoothly. And they all refer to the vision that they have. I just want to say, before we go into topics today, because that is important, the vision that they have about kind of like Kalergis, I think that was his name, Kalergi or Kalergis plan. Europe must fall first. The West actually must fall first. Islam will help with that. So the Muslim brothers will help with that. There will be a war between Christianity and Islam. And who will win this war? The Jewish people. This is according to Chabad Lubavitch and the Rebbe's prediction. Rebbe is no longer with us. That was Rabbi Schneerson, who is absolutely worshipped by many. And you're going to see another video today with that. And that is the cult that has the headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, under which were found tunnels. And I don't care what they say. It looks like they have been sacrificing children and probably doing some adrenochrome production. We're going to go into adrenochrome today as well, and sacrificing children as well. So what are the topics for today? My question is, and I am becoming more and more clear about this, and I said this before in many of my videos, that Erika Kirk was a honeypot. She was probably trained in Israel, or maybe if not in Israel, in the US, but under the directory of Israel. She went to Israel. I played a video, and I will show you this again, in which I showed you a post on her Instagram. It was her standing next to the wall, you know where, of course in Israel, and you know her stand on Israel as well. What else did she say? Well, she didn't say it before as much as she's actually said it yesterday. I told you that they will be putting her, that as she's now on this pedestal, they will be putting her much, much higher in the political arena. She will have a high position, because I believe, as it looks like very much likely will be the scenario, J.D. Vance will be running for president. She will be the vice president. And believe me or not, I actually think she wants to be the president. So this is a perfect scenario for Israel, right? Because you have to make sure that you're replacing one who is pro-Israel with another one who is pro-Israel and with another one who is pro-Israel. Like this continuum has to go, right? So what we're going to do today, we're going to look into very briefly what she said about J.D. Vance. We will start with her entrance at this Turning Point USA event that just took place. This will not be too long because I know a lot of you suffer just listening to the fakery and acting and beauty pageant almost performance. We will go to Ben Shapiro because that is also important. And then we will also look into Ben Shapiro and Chabad Lubavitch movement because that is also important. It's all connected. And if you don't see it yet, maybe you will never see it. It's not my place to convince people and to explain to them how I see things. I'm trying my best, really I am. But at the end of the day, it's your choice or it's your readiness to wake up to certain things that are not, it's not easy to wake up to. We will also look into what Candace Owen was addressing. I have some thoughts about this as well. And quickly, but on point, with Zelensky's visit in Poland, because I have to tell you guys, I am honestly looking at him and being in Poland, me still being here, is just, it just makes me feel all of this is really low vibrational, right? But I didn't want to stay too long on Zelensky because I know it's just a performance. It's truly a shit show. And they continue with Jerusalem 2.0 project. Yes, actually, I want to tell you one more thing. I have addressed this again before, but you know, there is an autonomous oblast that is purely Jewish. It's a Jewish state in Russia. I talked about it before, but I will play you one more time a video that really well summarizes it, because there is a region in Russia that is strictly just for the Jewish people. So before we start, I want to say thank you to everyone who still hits thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. My videos, because I talk about those topics, are very suppressed, and I'm aware of it. So YouTube does not recommend it. So if you feel like you would like to recommend on your social media platforms, it means a lot. I appreciate it. You don't have to, it's your choice. And to everyone who supports me, I want to say this is huge, guys, because I just received my books yesterday from the printing house, and they look incredible. This is the first stack of orders from you. I am so happy to present to you my book. This is my product, Booked for Children, Matilda's and Odo's Adventure, book number 1. I would like you to consider purchasing it because it's truly beautifully illustrated. It's a great story, very inspirational. And this is like, you know, you say my child. It's not really child, but kind of came out from my spirit, from my creativity. The link how to order it you have down below the video in the description box, and those are the first orders from you. I am very, very grateful, guys, for your support. I will be slowly sending this out. It's Christmas time, so please be patient with the delivery. You know how it is. So where shall we start? Let's start with Erika Kirk with the entrance, because this is Viva Las Vegas, baby. And we go to Las Vegas topic later on. So this is how she made an entrance to that event that Turning Point USA was hosting. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Let's just quickly take a look at this, because it's almost like, I don't know what word to use, but it's almost like sarcastic in a way, like presenting her this way. Second time around, because where there was a memorial for her husband, she had this kind of entrance as well. So what I think about this, I think she wanted that throughout her entire life. I think she really wanted to be perceived like this. That's why the beauty pageant, that's why reality shows, that's why being in one of the videos performing as an actress. And in that video, you could actually see the number 910 when she was sliding on that, I don't know how you call it, you know, that line in Vegas near Fairmont, I think, hotel. 910, interesting, right? The date of her husband being assassinated or not being assassinated, God only knows, right? But you know what I'm saying. Or she was groomed because maybe the parents are in a different kind of movement. They wanted to use the daughter for this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, mother working for the military complex and the defense ministry, the Ministry of Defense, Department of Defense, you say, in US. So that's what she likes. This way or the other, was she groomed to like it, or was she always liking this by her own choice? That's a different story. So what else? Well, as I told you, they want J.D. Vance to be next president. And the question is, are they going to remove Trump before his 4 years ends, and then replace, of course, because vice president becomes the president. Then you remember JFK story, right? Or they actually want Trump to have 4 more years, like one of his donors would like him to have, the most generous one. I forgot her name, but I should remember because she donated $250 million or maybe even more to his campaign. You know who? The one from Vegas. So here is the question, because this way or the other, 4 more years or not 4 more years, the next one on the line is J.D. Vance. And that's what Erika would like, him to be the next vice president. How I see it? Well, I think if they put J.D. Vance sooner, the whole AI agenda, because of the Palantir and his friends, J.D. Vance friends, will be on steroids. So if Trump is going with it, but he has to go with it fast enough. That's how I see it now, at this stage. If they put JD, she will be running as vice president, and then after him, she would like to become the president. This is actually pretty simple. That's how I see it. I don't know what you think. Please put in the comments down below. This is just confirming my first really intuitive feelings I had when I was watching what she is doing, how she's behaving, how she's acting. And this, all of it is approved by Israel. And I think, without a shadow of a doubt, that she has much more to do with Israel than we realize. So let's take a listen about her making obvious statement, what's coming.
And getting back on campus for Prove Me Wrongs and campus tour events this spring and fall of 2026. I'm also really excited about everything that we're doing at Turning Point Action. We are locked in and mission focused for both 2026 and 2028. We're investing in states and not just in races. So what I mean by that is we are building the red wall, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire. That's going to be very important to us. We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible. And for our hometown Arizona folks, so you guys in the house,
As she said, they will make sure that J.D. Vance is the next president. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? We kind of know this. What I think of that, I think digital control, AI on steroids, losing your freedom. That's how I see it. And of course, because J.D. Vance already celebrates Hanukkah, even though he's Christian, with Chabad Lubavitch. I just want to point out, those who are around political figures is Chabad Lubavitch. We will go into it again today to show you Ben Shapiro and Trump in a certain moment, okay? And Chabad Lubavitch. So if he's already having Hanukkah, J.D. Vance, I think very, very soon after maybe she will be stronger in the political scene, you will see her as well having Hanukkah with Chabad Lubavitch. Well, she went to Israel already. Actually, let me play you my older video, because here is her visit to Israel. I came across these guys, so I want to know if you know about this too. Because here you can see and we go to her official Instagram, okay? This is the post, you know, the wall. Come on. All roads lead to the same wall. And she says here, this is from March 16th, 2019. She was in Israel many times, as you know, even before she met Charlie Kirk, which again, in my opinion, this is how the whole operation has started, maybe even sooner, but the final decisions probably were made along the way. And it says, you were not made to fit in, you were created to stand out, not to draw attention to yourself, but to live the kind of life that leads others to him. So I pray that you boldly continue to love people so recklessly in a way that makes them feel less broken, just like Christ did, even if that means being constantly misunderstood. So yeah, is this wall misunderstood? What this wall has to do with Christ? This is a genuine question coming from me. I have very savvy audience who can answer that in the comments. But there is another post that I cannot find on her official Instagram anymore. However, it looks legit. And it's apparently, allegedly, from the same visit. You can see the same bag here. This is actually Valentino bag, but it's not. I know the designers because I work in that industry for a while, you know. But anyway, the same bag, the same outfit, no hat. And what does it says? It says this. Erika Kirk says, I love the raw and authentic exchange between strangers who barely speak each other's language. The vulnerable appreciation that is universally understood by the human spirit as you transcend communication barriers with love and respect. All I ask is you take the time to listen. And below, she's talking about this woman who's wearing white scarf. And she says this, a Romanian Jew that now calls Israel home. Meet Daria, okay, she says, meet Daria, a Romanian Jew that now calls Israel home. She was sitting by, here is highlighted, by my family's dedication sign, so her family, so Kirk's family, or, you know, maybe not Kirk's family, maybe her parents, or, you know, mother, father, I don't know what family, her current family or her parents' family, by my family's dedication sign for restoring the Zion Gate in Jerusalem. Although her English was extremely rough, her colorful spirit matched her contagious smile as she lit up talking about the country she now calls home. So that's what I was presenting to you a while back. Daria, from all the places she's Jewish, and she was from Romania. Again, Romania, we know the story. Allegedly, the story. I don't have to go back to it again. Isn't it ironic? She said in that post that you should not draw attention to yourself, but the entrance she made was just wow, OMG, right? So this is Erika Kirk. My last statement that I will make before we go to Ben Shapiro from the same event is, I think she is a Mossad agent. That's all I think. And she was a honeypot and honey trap. And she will be very, very possibly the next vice president. And if things go according to their plan, she could be running for president. So congratulations, America, right? You know, I'm looking at all of this now and I think this is so sad. It's so sad because people are being so played and so manipulated. Their energy has been drained by all of those psyops, all of it. So let's go to Ben Shapiro now. That one is clearly pro-Netanyahu and Israel because he, you know, that's his career. That's his career. But let's take a listen to how he answers this question that someone has enough courage to ask, which I think is great, about USS Liberty. Many of you know the story about the ship that was attacked, American ship that was attacked by Israeli forces, even though they had American flag flying, and it was done intentionally, pretty much. And if you haven't heard this story, I recommend you to check it out. Tucker Carlson addressed it, Candace Owens addressed it, especially I think I learned about this from Candace Owens. So one of the men who survived that attack gave an interview, and he's very active as far as trying to find justice, but you know, what kind of justice? So here is the question, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Ben. You cited during your speech truth as the most important tenet of American conservatism. Why, therefore, did you call irrelevant the Israeli attack in 1967 on the USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen dead and hundreds wounded?
So what I actually said is that if we're looking at modern Israeli-American relations, looking at an attack that happened mistakenly by multiple Navy reports, multiple Israeli reports, and all available evidence, and using that attack in order to undermine today's relations between Israel and America, that's irrelevant. As irrelevant as it would be to cite a piece of evidence from World War II or from 1776 to define America's relations with, for example, Great Britain or Germany today. That does not mean that the attack wasn't horrible for the Americans involved, that it wasn't bloody and terrible. The Israeli government paid reparations to the people who were killed. If you look at the actual military record of what happened on the USS Liberty, it was clearly a mistaken and tragic attack. The people who frequently cite the USS Liberty, however, are not talking about the specifics of the USS Liberty. I suspect that the vast majority of people who bring this up are doing so in order to suggest that Israel deliberately attacked an American ship because Israel deliberately wants to harm America. It is connected generally with a larger point. I wonder if that's your point.
If the truth matters, then the Israeli government must be held accountable for that attack. The American flag was flying on that ship. You do not mistake an American ship for a foreign one when our flag is flying.
So, and we can spend the rest of the time talking about the specifics of the U.S. Liberty attack, or you can actually go look at the naval investigations that were done, multiple naval investigations that were done. The reality is that people were flying Mirage planes for the Israeli military at the time. The USS Liberty was sailing in an area where it had essentially gone off-grid. The Israeli military mistook it for an Egyptian ship. They thought it was shelling Al Arish, which happened not to be true. In the initial attack, the American flag was knocked down, and then the attack went on for about 90 minutes. And then as soon, you can hear this, by the way, on the tapes of the Israeli pilots talking to each other, as soon as they realize that it's an American ship, they call off the attack, they speed a ship to try and help the USS Liberty. There have been multiple unfortunate friendly fire incidents between Allied forces, including, for example, in the Gulf War, where U.S. forces were responsible for killing about 9 British troops during the Gulf War. It's an unfortunate reality of war, but you're not answering my question, which is, what is your broader agenda in asking the question? Because I suspect that your question is not limited to your specific ire over an incident that happened in 1967.
Ten kij turystyczny może wyglądać zwyczajnie, ale w rzeczywistości może uratować ci życie w krytycznych momentach.
I think we should question any foreign country's relationship with our government.
That's totally fine, but I'm just wondering why you
serve American interests.
Again, I'm perfectly fine with questioning any country's relationship with the United States. But again, I'm wondering what your motivation is in bringing up a 6-decade-old attack as though it is the #1 issue in assessing the relationship between Israel and the United States today.
Well, many problems persist to this day, but it's interesting that you say 6-decade-old incident when there are many people in this audience who were alive for that attack, as if this is something that's irrelevant.
Well,
it doesn't
no, it's just not particularly relevant to assessing the relationship between the United States and Israel today, in the same way that in 1967, there are a wide variety of countries with which the United States had different relations. Okay, it's clear you're not going to actually answer the question, so I'm happy to move to this one.
So I would say, I think that's appropriate word to use in this case, what a schmuck, right? We know he is, but here he is. Let me just show you another video. He is visiting the grave of Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, the Messiah, Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe. They called him the Rebbe, the one that was the leader of Chabad Lubavitch, who has chosen, for example, the rabbi for United States. I'm sure he has chosen many rabbis for different countries, and who many people were visiting, you know, and asking for blessings, like Netanyahu was visiting, those billionaires from Vegas that have sponsored Trump's latest campaign and previous ones as well, I believe, and many others. You know, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are the believers of Chabad Lubavitch. So I repeat this again. I'm sure many of you already heard me saying, but some people still think that I am talking about all the rabbis. I'm talking about the specific cult. So all you really need to know, that's how I look at things right now, is Chabad Lubavitch present in that country. Has that person, regardless of the position, has any connection with Chabad Lubavitch? And it's very easy to find that, actually. It's really easy to find it because they are not hiding this at all. So here is this video. We're going to play it. I'm going to show you how Ben Shapiro is joining this trip. And then we will go back to Erika Kirk because I almost forgot about important parts that I want to address. So let's take a look. This is, I think, a year ago in October 2024. So before I turn on the sound back, because you might hear some people talking, I will say what you're seeing here is Trump visiting the grave of Rabbi Schneerson of the Rebbe. This is before the presidential election, okay? So he went there to ask for the blessings, I believe, to win the election or whatever he asked for, but he made sure that he's on that trip And he was there with, I think Lutnik was there as well, because Lutnik always has to be around, right? So as you see, Ben Shapiro was already there among others who are part of Chabad Lubavitch, because this is Chabad Lubavitch, okay? Ben Shapiro is there greeting Trump. So let's take a little bit look. Then I will speed up with this video to show you what went after that.
Winter for many of us means trying to keep warm and spending time with our families and enjoying the season.
I'm giving thanks to God also for the safe and your safe function.
Okay, 1 more minute.
Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Bruno, hold till my signal.
So what is interesting here for me, at least I want to tell you how I feel looking at it. It's very, very awkward energy, because it looks to me like Trump does not really want to do it, but he's doing it. Okay. I don't know if you are getting the same impression from watching this. It's almost like he's there, but like there is no energy behind it. Like he does not feel as if he's doing this from a genuine desire, all right? Lutnik, of course, like this is his life, Shapiro's life, and many others' life, but it looks like that's what I don't know, that's what they do to those leaders, I'm telling you. It's very, very strange energy, but let's play a little bit more, and then we go back to Erika Kirk for a moment.
Hello. What's your name?
So, what do you think? What do you think, huh? Now let's go to that story, Erika Kirk and Candace Owens story. 2 videos ago, 2 live streams ago, she had a guest. She mentioned that guest before, but she had a guest, and that was after that meeting with Erika Kirk, after which I felt I am not trusting her anymore because something felt very suspicious, and it still does feel very suspicious. Even the story itself, it's also a little suspicious. But, you know, things happen, I believe. People are put in the right place at the right time. What am I talking about? Let me actually tell you in a moment. Here is a good video. Let me find it. That presents in a nutshell.
Put it at a percentage.
I'm going to play it after, but first let me read it. So this was not the live stream yesterday, the one on Thursday. She had this guest here. His name is Mitch, who saw during his visit at Fort Huachaka, I don't know how you pronounce it, Huachaka, on September 8th this year, so before Charlie was assassinated, 2 days before assassination. He saw a meeting between Erika Kirk, the head of the security of Turning Point USA, and one of the congressmen from Nevada. So I want to play this for you briefly, and then I want to address it as well. Yeah, so let's play it. Let's play it, and then I tell you what I think about this. And again, this is just my opinion, guys. You are free to your own.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harpole, what percentage would you put it at?
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. There was, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachaka in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%.
If you had to put it at a percentage.
All right, it's the name Fort Huachaka, I think from some Indian tribe. So guys, what I think about it? Well, I will say this. From the moment this entire assassination drama after that has started, I said actually on my channel as well, I said, don't you think that the first people that you have to question are always people the closest to the victim, right? Because they tend to know the most, usually, and very often, not always, of course, but very often, they could be involved in the very nefarious things. So as we were going alone, some of you have been following those videos as well, and the evidence was coming out about her parents, about her trips to Israel, about her involvement with many things, right? With that organization in Romania, allegedly human trafficking, children trafficking, and many other things. Her playing in those videos, the symbolism, her wearing the cross, Knights of Malta, I think it was. I might be wrong. The Freemasonic vibes and all of it. I was thinking, and I was saying this out loud, that you should question people the closest, meaning her. And I always felt from the beginning that she has a lot to do with that. It looks now to me like it's absolutely obvious. Now, do I believe this is legit? what he's saying. Could be. I still have I have doubts, okay? I feel like I'm not sure about Candace Owens at this point, because her video after that meeting, the energy was really off. Something was not right. Was she playing stupid, or was she playing just polite because she wanted to deliver this video with this guy? I don't know. But there are a lot of question marks. I trust my own intuition and I trust God. That's all I say. I am not a person anymore as I used to be, that I was believing a lot of people on the internet, their opinions, their perception of things. I really, whatever I hear, I turn it back to me, and within my heart, within my soul, within my intuition, I find the answers. So you might not agree with me, but I am not sure about what's really going on with Candace Owens, if this is another psyop and people are just being distracted because could be the case, or maybe she's trying to unravel something and present us something that is true. I don't know. I have it's all very suspicious to me. It doesn't feel like I trust, okay, 100%. So where do I take you now? Let me take you now to, since we are on the topic of Jewish people, let me take you to that video about the oblast in Russia that is a Ukraine, sorry, it's not Ukraine, it's Jewish, I was thinking about Zelensky, no, but we go to Zelensky after. Is just Jewish people live there, and it's in Russia, and it's really big territory, so you might wonder, like, why they don't make there and make this new great Israel, Heavenly Jerusalem project there in that region of Russia instead of, you know, Ukraine. Well, because Khazaria was there, you know, so this is like Odessa has to be there and Dnipropetrovsk has to be there. That's how it looks like. So let me take you to this video, because this guy summarizes what I was telling you before, presenting you before, in a really cool short clip.
Israel is the only J state in the entire world. Actually, it's not. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast, another Jewish state founded in 1934, way before the founding of Israel in 1948. It was created as a homeland and safe haven for Jays to escape to, especially after the 1933 German election of a certain anti-Zionist leader in Europe. Located on the other side of Russia, it is actually 75% bigger than Israel. They can all go there. That's safe for them, especially since they're being kicked out of the Middle East, America, and Europe. So they can't claim that they only have one bit of land. Their new neighbors will be China, North Korea, and Russia, which will keep them safe, but also box in any problems or dreams of expansionism, which they're always accused of. So while the Zios are always complaining that they need a homeland, at the same time they deny everybody else a homeland, they actually have two states, and they should be moved to the less problematic of the two. It's bigger for them and better for everybody. Jays are always saying that
So again, I've talked about it much before, right? So if you haven't watched that video, you might find it. Now, I think actually I titled it as well, but let's read the comments here, what people say regarding this video. 80% of them have DNA from this region. Good idea. Another one, finally, someone is talking about this. Another person, the moon is another option. And someone says, look up the JAO flag. Okay. So he addressed that. Now, shall we go to another Jewish man, the first Jewish president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and his visit to Poland. So what did he accomplish? This will be very brief because I'm getting nauseous just looking at him, and reading, looking, hearing is all the same, very low vibrational energy. So what happened, guys? This is the Marshal of Polish Parliament, by the way, if you're wondering. So quickly, Poland offers help to Ukraine. It's about the future of its democracy. And I tell you what they are going to do. Actually, it's right here before we read this. they offer to help in organizing future elections in Ukraine. OMG. Warsaw has once again become one of the key points on the diplomatic map of Europe. Friday's visit of the president of Ukraine brought declarations that might be important not only for bilateral relations, but also for the future of Ukrainian democracy. So what is that? During the visit of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to Warsaw on Friday, the Polish side offered Ukraine help in organizing future elections. This is the most like humorous joke ever, because, you know, he got in because the election was rigged as well in Ukraine. Okay, you know that. He was one of those rigged elections before. And yeah, so how now Poland is going to rigged elections for Ukraine? The speaker of the Sejm, Włodzimierz Czarzasty, this is the one, he very recently just participated in Chabad Lubavitch menorah celebration of Hanukkah in the Polish parliament. So he lit the candles on menorah, and he said that Hanukkah will be celebrated forever in Polish parliament. So that's the one. He informed that the offer includes logistical and legal support, and also invited President Zelensky to address the Polish parliament. I'm not going to read you more because there is more. We're going to send, I think, the MiGs, the planes for the drones, so another shitty deal. But I just wonder how Poland is going to help with the so-called democratic elections in Ukraine from now on. I think Chabad Lubavitch will help with those elections, and I think they have those elections already set in place. And you might be thinking that I am joking, but I am not joking at all. So let me actually now take you to what is really the most important, and that is, everyone, this. I came across this post. Let's read this together. Why not? Because that is really the most important. A liter of adrenochrome sells for $2.2 billion US. That's why you see only the most wealthy addicted to it. It takes just over 100 children to produce a liter. They electrocute them repeatedly and then drain their blood. The most evil, vile thing I've ever heard of. So those of you who don't know what adrenochrome is and how this is being generated, I will just say one thing. Do your own research, but in a nutshell, that's what they need children for. Because children produce one of the highest quality adrenochromes. This is from the blood, from terrified children. And it's not just they don't just electrocute them. They terrify them, they torture them in a ways that their body produces that certain substance. So on that note, we still stay on the topic because that is actually the most important. We go to this video, everyone.
The Vatican's gift was to put Jesuits into the chambers of kings and queens and to use the confessional as an intelligence service. It's clearly established that elements of the Catholic Church, if not the Catholic Church itself, have been taking children from unwed mothers and selling them into pedophilia. Okay? I'm very sorry to say this, but you need to get a grip on reality. Reality bats last. We just had an Irish Catholic organization where 800 child's bodies were found in a cemetery in Ireland. All right, these children are being executed by the Catholic Church because they're inconvenient children. Now, this is real outrage. There's a select segment that absolutely believes that drinking children's blood will keep them younger for a long time. And they're also using these rituals as kind of a Freemasonry. I mean, there's a level of Freemasonry above Freemasonry that is really, truly scary. Okay? The Vatican's gift was to put Jesuits into the chambers of
Again, I know a lot of people who are watching me know about this, but I also know that many people don't, and they are just being introduced to those very inconvenient, uncomfortable truths. And I tell you one thing, guys, from me or from someone else, you're gonna hear it sooner or later. So sooner or later, those kind of truths will be coming out. And in the beginning, it's very difficult to process it. It's very shocking. You start to question everything. Okay, I came across this about 5 years ago, and when I was coming about those informations, it was not easy for me to emotionally, mentally, energetically to process it. But that's what's really going on in the world. It's not, you know, lollipops, unicorns, and roses. There are things of that nature, and the elites, so-called elites, and certain cults, certain rabbis, they are all involved in those things. They might be wearing different outfits, different hats, but they, trust me, I am absolutely certain they all know each other, and this is all connected. It's just different sectors, different groups that lead to the same type of energy. And this one world government, ultimately, that's what it is. It just has different strings that it pulls. Anyway, guys, I will attach all the links down below in the description box. If you're still here with me a little bit longer video today, I very much appreciate your patience and your time. Leave the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if you choose to support my work, the best way is to order one of my books for children. You know, when I think about it, it's just very heartbreaking, you know. I mean, I love my book and it's for children, but when I think about those topics, it's not easy to even to bring it to you. But anyway, I'm very, very happy with my book, and I hope that you will consider purchasing it. It will be a great addition to your children's stories, and there is 4 more to come. You can also donate on PayPal or become my Patreon or local supporter. And if you have Instagram, make sure to follow me there. It's AniaK_44. You have also linked down below this video. And that's all I have for you for today, everyone. Please leave the comments. Let me know your thoughts about everything, about Erika Kirk, Candace Owens, whatever you choose to tell me. But I just ask you for one thing: be open-minded. Be open-minded and trust your own intuition. So whoever you're listening to, including myself, okay, please do your own research. If you have a question, try to find the answer on your own, and then maybe hear other people, but your intuition will definitely guide you the right way. What is the truth? What is the right answer? Who is worth your time, or maybe who is worth your time for some time, because I believe everyone and everything serves its purpose. It doesn't mean we have to stay on it forever and continue listening to certain people because we have been listening to them for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. Because things evolve, we change, more information comes out, and you're questioning more things, and something just simply don't resonate anymore. If you don't feel like it resonates, it means you are ready to let that go, and you're ready for the next stage of your evolution. You're ascending, you're awakening, you're becoming more, your soul is becoming more. So don't suppress it and don't limit it. Just follow that. Thank you, guys. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.